I think all of us saw this one coming. Oh, I've started the episode with the wrong skin and it caught me off guard. Right, give me... Look at it. Look at it in all of its glory. Who did that? Who has done this? It looks like a Bumbo mustache. But I'm not sure that this is a Bumbo. But it could... Hang on, no, wait, there's different mustaches. Oh my goodness. So what, there's more than one? That is totally ridiculous. I don't know about you, but that looks incredibly painful. Judging by my own pocket map, all of the mustaches have actually been removed from my face. However, I imagine that's not the last of the graffiti that's going to occur on this thing. I mean, it's such an easy target. And I don't know if I should take this personally, but my face has turned into a bit of a meme. When I flew up to it in the previous episode, I came in at just a very unflattering angle, and it's been turned into all sorts of stuff. Somebody's even using it as their Apple watch face, which I don't know if I should take that offensively or not. This definitely points towards Iskall being the culprit, but then again, I feel like he would refer to me as Bumbo. So the jury's still out. Anyway, all things mustache aside, today is going to be the grand opening of my odea store, and that means that we have got a lot of work to do, because I've built up all the redstone contraptions on the inside of there, but then I haven't actually provided the instructions or actually filled in any stock, so yeah, it's kind of a shell at this point in time. We need to fix that up. And it's also currently full of rose bushes, so we should probably get one of those road passes. Except I've looked all over the walls trying to find my store in here and I can't find anything. I mean, there's this one, the IKEA, I don't know what that is, the IKEA redstone box shop, but that's not odea. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to pay for someone else. I think this means we get a free pass, doesn't it? Before you all get mad at me down in the comment section, I did actually end up paying. Now, I've been thinking a lot about how I want to do the instructions for these redstone control. What are you doing over there, sir? What are you doing? As I was saying, I've been thinking a lot about how I want to do the instructions for the redstone contraptions. Originally, I was going to write out an instruction manual, which would basically be impossible to follow, but then I thought, that's funny, but also makes my store completely useless. And I kind of want this to actually be useful, so instead I'm going to record a bunch of dedicated redstone tutorials for each one of these redstone contraptions. And here is an example of one of the simpler ones. Welcome to this odea video tutorial. In this one, we're going to be building a 2x2 coffed door, and remember, if at the end of the building process you say oh dear, there's no refunds. We're going to start things off with a 3x6 area, and all of your resources can be found in the shulker box you have purchased. Building blocks are not included. We're going to start things off by placing in our 4 pressure plates in the walkway that you want to be walking on. Then we're going to have a redstone dot on either side of the front pressure plates, and 3 pieces of redstone dust on either side of the other pressure plates. Those are going to be running into a pair of blocks, which then run into a pair of redstone torches with a block on top of them, and then on the sides of those, our sticky pistons will be going right there. Place in your door blocks, and your 2x2 coffed door is now all completed. Now, doing all of those took an alarmingly long time, and now I have to actually create the boxes that they purchased. Now, I must admit, when I was actually looking at the shulker boxes while I was recording the tutorials, there's not much to them. You know, it's actually quite a small number of redstone resources, which is quite handy, so we're just going to need to craft up a bunch of shulker boxes and get those installed in the store, same thing, isn't it? Now, in keeping with the Swedish inspiration for my odea store, we're going to have the warehouse section with everything stacked up nice and high. So these are all of our redstone boxes right here, and the player has to come along, break them, and pick them up. The only slight issue with this setup is that we can only have a stock of, I believe, 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 shulker boxes of each different type of redstone contraption. But I imagine that's going to be enough. I mean, that should be I don't know how popular this store is going to be honest with you. I really have no gauge for it, as I've never built anything like this before. After absolutely tons of fanning about, we are finally getting ourselves sorted and actually placing items into these shulker boxes, which is strange because I really feel like I've said that before. And what's even weirder is that in the video that I feel like I've said it before in, I feel like I said in that video that I feel like I've said it before. Spooky. And I'm sure with me saying that, a handful of very dedicated fans have now gone off looking for where I've said it before, and I feel bad for them because there's a chance I've never said it before and it's all in my head. I think we can all agree that life is strange. Now, one thing that is definitely making the process of filling up the shulker boxes a lot easier is the fact that me and Iskall are business partners, which means that I have access to a large number of redstone resources. I'm just gonna take some of these. Okay, sold out of those. We do need some extra redstone torches. There's no repeaters. I don't need any redstone dust. What about comparators? Yep, we need a few of those. Oh, took some redstone resources. How much do I owe you, partner? Hopefully not too much because, you know, partners. Despite having access to Iskall's Omega Redstone store, we have actually ran out of redstone resources. I've got everything from the lagring silo to the sluta stationen to the 3x3 cold door and the 2x2 cold door. We've got all of those done, but the Papa Utrapona, that is where we have started to run out of things. So I guess I've got to do some resource gathering. And while I do that, it's time for a quick message from today's sponsors, Audible. As you guys know, I listen to Audible all the time, and recently I've been listening to Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. It's all about taking full responsibility for every single aspect of your life and not passing the blame onto others when times get tough. It's led to some pretty big changes.
Was that you?
Hours of listening have led up to this point. Normally you would blame the dog, but not today. Extreme ownership. And I own that fart. If Audible let me use a fart joke in my integration, then they're officially the coolest company ever. But if extreme ownership doesn't tickle your fancy, then don't worry. Audible has thousands upon thousands upon thousands of titles available. From non-fiction to fiction, from sci-fi to horror, they have something for everyone. Edit, what audiobook would you recommend listening to right now?
The Switch by Beth and Louie.
Any good?
Very good, actually.
If you want to sign up to Audible, head over to audible.com/Mumbo or text Mumbo to 500 500. That is audible.com/Mumbo or text Mumbo to 500 500. Even I like Audible, and I don't even know what an audiobook is. Audible integration completed. Resources have been gathered. Here we go. The final few items are making their way into the shulker boxes. And that is everything. So, this place is now fully stocked up. We have got all of our packages in place. I've got all of the tutorials recorded. All of the actual redstone builds themselves, the demonstrations are done. I mean, there's not really much left to do. I do have to construct a little 2x2 cove door for the exit, so that can be done relatively simply. And by the way, I am going to be referring to these things as cove doors from this point forth. So that's done. I guess I should probably also include some instructions. Oh, and some prices. Yeah, these don't have any prices at this point in time. I'm a terrible, terrible businessman. But now everything is all in place. So I've got all the payment details in. They're on the inside of the warehouse. And also I've got this book which explains everything. It runs through all the stages. Most of them you already understand. But the last point, which is how people get to the tutorials, is a bit of an interesting one. You see, I'm going to have to make a website. All right, I'm going to have to go away and make a website. But I think that's fun. You know, so the hermits are actually going to have to go over to odea.store. That will have all of the tutorials listed on there. They'll have to navigate to their specific build, and that's how they're going to watch the tutorial. So, I've got a website to develop. Is this the first Hermitcraft store with an official website? I mean, I'm not entirely certain. Concorp technically have a website, but they're not really a store. I think I might claim that. It is done, 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 and done. We are now open for business. We should have a grand something. One of those, and go. Nice! Oh dear, is now open for business. So now I've got Grian's gigantic present to attend to. I best grab Iskall.
Mumbo?
Hello? Wait, hang on, can we do a fly past? We're like the red arrows. That was cool.
Dude, I am genuinely scared. I don't know what frightens me the most, an UNO reverse card or a Grian head on a pole.
Yeah, I mean, both of them are absolutely terrifying, so I'm just going to look off in this direction so I don't have to acknowledge either. That's
brilliant.
Yep.
Okay, I'll do this direction.
Oh, so I'm guessing, so this button here, does this mean Grian's done some redstone?
Oh yeah, probably. I wonder if it's gonna...
Wait. What's happened to your eye? What has happened to your eye, dude?
Oh yeah. That's a good reaction. I keep forgetting. I was watching Tango's Decked Out How to Play video very intensively, and I got a bit scared.
I feel like I should interject here by saying I too want to play Decked Out. Just haven't had enough time to get my teeth into it yet, but I am going to be doing it at some point. Are we going to press the button? Who wants to do it?
As per the challenge, here is a present for Mumbo and Iskall. Can we do a joint push?
Okay.
On the button?
3, 2, 1.
Wait. Do we press after one?
4. We press on. Go.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. 0.
Go. I think you pressed it.
That was fancy. That was fancy. Hermit challenge. Right, who's going to read? I think you should read, okay? Because otherwise this is all going to be the same.
Okay. Hermit challenges. Yay, initiated, etc. and stuff. Your present is an original concept. Chicken challenges. It's up to you who does which challenge. Oh, so these named?
Oh no. Wait, hang on. There's so many of them.
Oh.
Wait, what?
One. Okay. Attempt to sell your base. So
unlucky, dude. How much do you reckon your base would go for? Well,
it didn't. I'll charge a lot.
Well, I got one that's only turn left for 3 minutes.
Yeah, I saw that one and I ignored it. It doesn't say that we have to do the one we look at. We can pick and choose. It said collab with someone and say nothing.
Oh no! What? Oh, are you gonna start that now? Oh no! Iskall! Hello? Is this really how we're doing this? I know you're doing a challenge. I mean, I'm assuming you can still hear me. Okay. But I can only turn left for the next 3 minutes. So this is a bit painful. We decided it would be best if we ended this collaboration and then quickly had a new collaboration immediately after. Iskall, this is a completely separate collaboration from the one that we have just done.
Are we gonna collaborate again? Yay!
Yes, yeah. 2 collaborations in one video.
Can I just ask, not that anyone knows this,
yeah?
But why did we restart the Discord call? No one would have known if we didn't.
Mate, you know what? I turned off my computer. I've changed my clothes. Okay, and this is it's a whole new day. Yes. All right. Well, I'd say that was a huge success. So
yes.
Thanks for that, dude. I guess.
Well played, Grian. I don't think this was what we thought when we said present, but obviously we should have thought twice.
Yeah, we should have known.
I mean, to be fair,
we dropped a ton of chickens into his base. I don't think that's what he expected when he built his barge out of burn sticks. And then, I mean, he didn't even know they were burn sticks. I still don't think that Grian actually fully understands.
No, he's not connected the dots,
no,
as they say.
No. He just thinks, hermit challenges, I mean, we just say a bunch of things at him and then it's a challenge. And that's, which actually is, that kind of is hermit challenges actually. He's understood it perfectly.
Decked out key now for sale at the barge. Limited stock, 5 diamonds. Okay, well, hermit challenges!
Wait, so what?
Challenge.
So you've just left...
Challenge it. Dude, I got important stuff to do, okay?
Do you even have 5 diamonds?
I'm checking right now. No. No, I actually have 0 diamonds. I forgot.
I gave him the 5 diamonds. I felt sorry for him. Anyway, that was cool. I think I'm going to head back over there a little bit later on in today's Hermitcraft episode because I do kind of like a challenge. I mean, that's why I started Hermit Challenges in the first place. Anyway, moving on from all the Hermit Challenges stuff, there is something that I've been meaning to do for a very long time. Now, it's not necessarily this, although this is quite important. No, there's something that I've been putting off. You guys know what it is. It's about time that I made some serious progress on this sorting system by putting in a large chunk of the items. Now, I'm going to do this in batches. I'm going to give myself a 2-hour window to make as much progress as possible, and we'll see how far we can get with this thing. And I think the only way to make this entertaining in any way, shape or form is to do a little bit of a time lapse. and this one's a bit special. A fresh remix is hot off the presses, and it seems like a perfect fit, so let's go. Tiny, 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 tiny time lapse. 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 Time lapse, time lapse, time lapse, time lapse. Tiny, tiny time lapse. That's it. Tiny, tiny time lapse. Beautiful. Tiny, tiny time lapse. Tiny, 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 tiny time lapse. Tiny, tiny time lapse. Tiny, tiny time lapse. This is gonna take a while. Tiny time lapse. So now I have to do the incredibly dull task of working out where the items are going to go, you know? So, you know what that means? It's a tiny time lapse. Tiny time lapse. Tiny time lapse. Tiny time lapse. If you aren't subscribed to LE Beatmaker already, you totally should. What are you doing? Get over there, subscribe. So here's my current predicament. Okay, I have done 2 sections of my storage system. We have got all of the items in place. I've got items inside the chests, ready for them to go into the sorters. I wanted it all to be in the chest before we move it into the hoppers, because that makes life easier. And I'm thinking it would be plain rude of me not to just get it finished. There is no point in me being lazy and putting it off any longer. I'm just going to get it done, okay? I'm going to get it done. Today is the day. I am knocking off some long-winded projects in today's episode. We finished Odea. I'm going to finish up the storage system. This feels very, very good. Having a look at the final section, it shouldn't actually be too difficult. So we've got all of the precious items and things, the mob drops, the farm drops, and everything like that. I've actually got a repeat of ice. So I need to sort that out. We need to think of some new items to go in here. And then we have all of the coloured items, which, that's fine. I can buy that stuff in the shopping district. That's no stress. We are onto a winner, ladies and gentlemen. We are onto a winner. I honestly cannot wait to be able to just dump items into the chest like this and have them all go into the correct place. Currently, they're not all going into the correct place. This is a total mess. Bit of a progress update. All of my valuables have been sorted out, and I'm just starting progress on sorting out all of the mob drops and farming things. That is all of our wool colours. Now you may notice some of them are missing, and that's because there are certain colours that I just know I'm never really going to use too often. I want to hold a bit of a discussion here, okay? Because I would say that in multiplayer servers, getting ink sacs is one of the most annoying items to have to try and get. Because there are no squid. As soon as there's other players online, there are no squid. And then I can't find any ink anywhere. And normally you need a decent amount of ink, so it's even more frustrating. However, I am open to anyone who disagrees with me, so please do let me know down in the comment section what item is more frustrating than ink sacs. I don't actually think that anything will beat it. Alright, I might have found something a little bit more frustrating. It's these lilacs. I cannot find any anywhere. And I've been searching. Finally, after a lot of peeping, I managed to get my hands on one. So now we have got all of this area done. We've got all the farming resources. We've got all the various different ingredients for various different dyes. So now we're onto the easy zone. We are finally onto the easy zone. Concrete powder, various different dyes. This is it. This is it. This is it! Now it is going to cost me a little to actually get all of the remaining items, but that doesn't matter. I would say the cost is worth it. That might actually not be enough though. It might cost more than that. When would the cost stop being worth it? I've actually been spending my diamonds like a bit of a madman lately, so we might actually end up doing another 12-hour mining session sooner than I expected. All of the concrete has now been gathered, but I don't know where to find concrete powder. By the looks of things, I am going to have to craft up a little bit myself, but thankfully that isn't quite as scary as I first imagined it would be, because I can actually access all the dyes. Actually making the concrete powder, that's not difficult in the slightest. It's getting the dyes. All the different colours of dyes are a nightmare. This feels like a pretty monumental moment right now. I've just placed in the final blocks in the sorting system. Everything is now organised. Everything is in place. All of the chests are filled. This is not something that I expected to do today. And yet I am so happy that I did. Because I must admit, I've been having a bit of a crisis recently. Now what do I mean by this? Well, I've had a lot of projects that are kind of in the middle of being done. So I had Odea. I was stressing about that because that was kind of half done, half not. We managed to get that done. That was done yesterday, and then today, you know, the storage system has been stressing me out massively because it seemed like just a mammoth project that I would never get finished. I got it done today. I'm smashing it. The base is now living. We managed to get that. The base is now living. I've been here all day. I haven't looked at the redstone lamps once. What's happened? Have we killed the base immediately? Oh, thank goodness. Oh, I thought we might have killed the base immediately. Right, we need to go out in search of a golden apple quick. Well, not really quick. I mean, it's got plenty of life left in it, but still, we need to get a golden apple because I got to stay on top of this thing, otherwise it is going to die a bunch. Now, pretty much every single person who watched my previous Hermitcraft episode mentioned to me that I can now get apples from farmer villages. And that's all well and good, you know, I appreciate that. But sometimes I do like doing things the old-fashioned way. There is something quite satisfying about it. I can't believe how lucky I got in that clip. So there we go, Mr. Base. One organic, farmed by myself apple for you. Now let's just sit back and see. Hopefully everything is working. Yes, I actually know how to do redstone. Now, I just refer to my base as Mr. Base, but that's made me think, you know, with this thing being living, it probably should have a name. It doesn't have to be gender specific. I'd like to know your thoughts. Let me know down in the comment section. And look, okay, I know how the internet works. I know that the top voted comment is going to be Basey McBaseface, okay? And I just want it known that it's not going to be called Basey McBaseface, even though Basey McBaseface might be one of the most satisfying things to say I've ever said in my entire life. Basey McBaseface, I could say that all day long. Anyway, as promised, one more challenge is required from me. I can't help but feel incredibly nervous when flying up to this thing. It is mildly terrifying. 3, 2, 1, you. Sing what you say for 30 seconds. What? So, the time has come. It is the end of the Hermitcraft episode. Now, it has been 10 seconds. I have 20 more. And I'm almost out of lyrics. I'm also out of June. And it is painful. Quite painful. And that's the end of my 30 seconds. I never want to do that again. I hate you, Grian. That was a cruel challenge. That couldn't have been more cruel. I don't think we did anything that cruel in our in our Hermit challenges. I can't wait to look at the viewer retention graph for this episode, because as soon as I start singing, I imagine all the viewers are just going to drop off. There's going to be 0% that reach the end of the video. Ugh.